I made this point in Parliament when we were arguing about
Debate,
it.
no, yes.
And I made the point there. The Deputy Speaker is not the Speaker. The Deputy Speaker is the Deputy Speaker, and the Speaker is the Speaker. Sure, Mura. A country behind a new constitution. So the first danger we have is that I don't want us to pick examples from various countries. They make Canada.
Yeah, no,
will vote.
Australia.
Australia will vote. In America, Nancy Pelosi is the speaker. Her job is like the leader, like majority leader here, because she leads the Democratic Party. The constitutions of various countries differ. Now, say, we have to have deference to the constitution. In 101 and also and that material become one third subject the provision of constitution Parliament may by standing orders. The court cannot come into it. It's not only Parliament that has been given powers to make subsidiary legislation. Even the judiciary has been given powers. I share Article 150 the judicial Article 157 Rules of Court Committee. They will make by constitution instrument rules and regulations for regulating the practice and procedure of the court in Ghana. Area 159, the Chief Justice may act in accordance with the advice of the Council and with the approval of the President, make constitutional instruments for so and so.
Yes.
Article 11, it talks about the hierarchy of laws. Not the highest law is the Constitution. Yeah, Parliamentary way, Constitution says it now. Without a Constitution, we will not be in Parliament. Executive is because judicial is because of the Constitution, and the same Constitution gives the judiciary power. And Article 2 and Article 130, the Ebiara, if you there assembling while contravening the provisions of the Constitution, for some court. I bring say now no court. I bring say now no court. No court once in there, assembly see in that day or you're wrong or no you're unconstitutional. So if the Supreme Court does not assume jurisdiction when you raise the question of constitutionality, then who should assume jurisdiction? The Parliament does not have the power to decide whether something is unconstitutional or constitutional. We can argue, we can vote, but up to decide whether even that act was constitutional or not, it goes to the Supreme Court. You pass laws, you pass act of Parliament, time behind you pass and the President will send two branches of government, Parliament, the President will boom will pass law. And they be assured as the law called Supreme Court. Also, the law will pass it. Hana, constitution. Is it interfering with Parliament or interfering with the President? It is not, because it be a
Yeah, but that is different from the procedure. I think the distinction there, the procedure of Parliament, what you do in the chamber, or your closed book. It should be known to it should be unknown to the courts.
There's nothing that is a closed book in Ghana. There's nothing. The procedure of the court is not a closed book. The procedure of the executive is not a closed book. The procedure of Parliament is not a closed book. There is no law which is above the Constitution. Because what people are suggesting in there, once we pass our standing orders, they are above the Constitution. They are suggesting there Article 101. 110. Yes. They are suggesting Article 110. It creates a situation, Sebi, once we pass that, it's above the Constitution. How can that be? I don't understand that argument. For example, constitutions in there, there cannot be a one-party state.
Yes.
Yakatna Parliament. Yes, in there, Yajunwa, Sisha, Yaya split. What's man can hang? It's Yaya split. Into to cut matters short in Yaya be one party inside Parliament. We don't have the power to do that. It's unconstitutional.
Yeah, but only a clear violation of the Constitution.
Their
argument there on this specific matter.
Yes.
Which part of the standing orders? Yes. Which standing orders was made pursuant to Article 110 of the Constitution? Which part of that standing order and or contravene any provision in this
From what
Constitution?
I've read, from the reports I've read,
yes,
the Supreme Court is saying that the part of the standing order that contravenes it is the part that says that the deputy speakers cannot vote. Which part of the Constitution does it contravene? It contravenes the part of the Constitution where nowhere in the Constitution do they prohibit the deputy speaker from
voting.
Yes. So there is nothing there. You cannot create something out of nothing. Everything you do must be based on the constitutional provision. The Constitution makes it clear when it deals with speakers and when it deals with deputy speakers. It tells you that the speaker is so and so, the deputy speaker. It tells you that the deputy speaker is akin to a speaker. And it gives you the circumstances in which the deputy speaker is like a speaker. Now, the Constitution does not state that the deputy speaker loses all his rights as a member of parliament when he's presiding. People have talked about Article 102 and Article 104. And they've said, Article 102, walk about quorum.
Quorum, yes.
It's about 1/3 of all the members of parliament,
apart from the person presiding. Yes.
But the premise of the Constitution, when you say such things, I know I'm 102, 103, 104. What do 104 on? What talk about voting? They didn't say apart from the person presiding. Why didn't they say that?
What's a 104.1? Except as otherwise provided in this Constitution,
Yes.
matters in Parliament shall be determined by the votes of the majority of members present and voting, when at least half of all the members of Parliament present.
Yes, it doesn't talk about apart from the person presiding. It could have added it, which shall not include the person presiding. But it didn't say that. And so what I'm saying, what I said on the floor, I don't know the decision of the reason of the Supreme Court. What I said on the floor is that Article 102 and 104 is different on the same page, not because it was just they forgot about something. If you look at, and I'll be interested to see, I haven't seen it, I'll be interested to see the Constituent Assembly. I mean,
one report,
their report. I'm looking for it because I don't. The Constituent Assembly did a very good job, and they knew what they were doing. When they came here, they left it out, and so I haven't seen the report. But the argument I made, and I haven't seen the judgment, was that since at this place, 104 did not say that it should exclude the person presiding. If we put it in our standing orders, there's a contravention of 104.1. That was the argument I made in Parliament. I don't know what the Supreme Court will say. Missing there, 102, what's in there? A quorum of Parliament, apart from the person presiding, shall be 1/3 of all the members of Parliament.
Yes.
Clear?
Yes.
Clear. You're even the spirit of the Constitution, a letter.
Letter.
Number 104 says, except as otherwise provided in this Constitution. Matters in Parliament shall be determined by the votes of the majority of members present and voting, with at least half of the members of Parliament present. Until half of the members are present. That's the first requirement.
Yes.
The second requirement is that there must be a vote, and the majority wins. That's all.
But the other thing, the lawyer, on that same
point, I'm more at the lawyer. I'm more a lawyer. So most the Constitution, sorry, and me water crowd mean that the bank and I law. I didn't know you as a lawyer. I knew you as a businessman and everything.
It's not me there. Say Esha 102 Ekosiisen now.
Yes.
Don't you think the 102 would be more like a sine qua non for 104? Until that 1/3 of all members present to form that quorum for business to proceed, you will not come to 104 when there will be a decision to be voted on.
But when it comes to a decision to be voted on, the Constitution does not repeat that decision shall not include the person presiding. See, we were just told the Eco Baby, the Canada, the Australia. There are different rules. The person presiding can vote or reach out. But it goes on to say something. Don't let's leave it alone. Call 104.2. Then it says the speaker shall have neither an original nor casting vote.
Yes.
So we are arguing about deputy speakers. Okay. Under our constitution, understanding orders, a member can preside.
Yes.
And Joe say also to con, Joe Wise say to con. Sorry,
Formula
way to con. Speaker now way to con. Why should I was a Joe Ghartey? Who needs the speaker that? But preside. Ne kodo. It's matter me. I'm not a speaker. I'm not a deputy speaker. But ne what's my to aba? But Article 102, the speaker shall neither have an original nor casting vote. When the Constitution, when you come to 102 here, it says apart from the person presiding.
Presiding.
It didn't mention speaker.
Yes.
But when it comes here, it specifically mentions speaker. And so the point is that when the Constitution wanted to mention, it said it.
It's mentioned.
And when they didn't want to mention something, you cannot, by the standing orders, impose it or kind of import it into the Constitution. The standing orders is subject to the Constitution. Because even when you read the standing orders itself, it recognizes the supremacy of the Constitution. Mr. Maybe me uncle be catch him there. Oh, I'm a fast too much. I make a law. Me uncle Mumbo in the me sure they take. But we see about for that. But I can't say me catch it. If you're standing order 2, except otherwise provided in these orders or in the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. So the standing orders itself establish the Constitution. This argument or this suggestion there, Parliament has some. I don't know. I can't whether it's supreme. It's the Constitution that is supreme, and the Constitution is a living document. It is not in a situation now, but it's a protocol court.
Court now
Jonko. Supreme Court. So what now? Supreme Court wanted that postful. They themselves cannot start a case. They can't get up and say that if you are obi na sampe, or unconstitutional. Until when you obi court, no one will just summon. They don't have that power. It is matters that are started by persons, and in fact, our Constitution says any person. Until you court, then they can address it. In the situation in here, how can they address it? In 1993, how could the Supreme Court have said that yes, a day will come and hear Parliament will be a split? It's answer questioning. No, it is when the situation comes that, and then we are told by all the constitutional law scholars that the Constitution is a living organism. It continues to grow. To form an Attorney General would not have come if that situation had not arisen. Anani and the Attorney General, all the cases that came, they would not have come if the situation would not have arisen. As a Chum, an Attorney General, also the Chief Justice, whether he has a power, whether the Chief Justice should go through a certain process, JH Minsa, an Attorney General, whether or not you have to continue be vetted after your first term.
Yes.
All these matters would not have gone to court until the issue arose. So it is not a political interference. When the issue is given to the Supreme Court interprets it. And in fact, I have no problem with people disagreeing with the Supreme Court. I have no problem with that because lawyers, that's what we do. Me a case be, and I like talking about cases against Justice. Me a case with Justice Judge or offend Aban. Offend Justice Ansel says it. I forgot the name.
Okay.
The case me case be pa minyesika Mali food or imported goods. SEPS intervened in the and the microphone. What about months over we are be pa? I'm assuming we are be. Or say we win case amazing. And the Mali food ya so over in check. Me argue am the judge. I am mad to phone. Hey. And I had so much confidence in my case. So I went for an application for stay pending an appeal. Then me a young lawyer, Mujasho Kakra, the application they make a KB judge. The KD mistake. Now usually application for stay, judges usually one more decision there and there. The judge make a KW and the judges in there 1 month 2 weeks. Or they will dismiss the application. And beside that, so during the 2 weeks, my people are still, they won't seize their goods. Yeah, the good time. Okay, baby. 2 weeks time, judging by. But the judge made me understand law. Also, you said this, but I disagree with you. You said this, I think you are wrong. You said this. Then he concluded by saying that, but I'm going to give you the stay. Go to the Court of Appeal and give me a copy of the decision that they give to you. He became my friend. So the fact that I'm sure Prof knows that the fact that I disagree with him doesn't mean our friendship has come to an end.
Of course.
But I totally agree with the power of the judiciary to do what it has done. I agree with their reason. I said it before even they did it. So there, Sebi judges man, why I'm so maybe so because there are several issues at stake. When Right Honorable Dua Ajawo became a speaker, he was a member of Parliament. He had to resign that day before they made him the speaker. And so the speakers and the deputy speakers are not the same. That has been my position before this case. It is my position now. Now, the interesting thing about this whole business also is that when you look at, that's why countries differ. In the UK, for example, they don't refer to deputy speakers as Mr. Speaker.
Oh, okay.
They refer to them as deputy speaker. In Ghana, they say that Mr. Speaker includes everybody presiding. So even if I'm not a deputy speaker and I take the chair, they refer to me.
Mr. Speaker.
So we shouldn't use other people's constitutions and other people's standing, other people's procedures as an analogy. If we use football analogy, I say, play football, my West chairman, but this is not exactly football. This is on the Electoral Commission to
Ottawa.
But Electoral Commission presides over the election. Forget about the Electoral Commission itself. Every polling station, on our
electoral officers now.
No, security agencies was John. What about the day before? But that does not mean that it colors their judgment so much that they can injure. If that is the case, and the electoral officers are more on to about security agencies are more on to about. So what to about means they are biased. I remember Honorable Babin asked me a question when I became an attorney general. He said, "Young man,
Ekosiisen
the media
on
attorney
Asempa
general."
FM.
I said to him that it is not the office that makes the person, but it's the person that makes the office. The question of bias, a bit of crapa on to about, he can be more biased than Kofa or to about, because our speakers are elected on a partisan basis. It's the whether it's a judge or what, the majority party, or sometimes in this case, one party that elects the speaker. And so, are you saying that the fact that the person has been elected to be biased? Are you saying that when the president appoints a judge, the judge will also give judgment against him? I lost cases as attorney general. I won cases. And so we must have the law, respect our law, and also respect that people are capable of taking independent decisions. And the fact that you don't agree with somebody doesn't mean that the person has done something terribly wrong. It doesn't mean the world has come to an end.
But, Honorable, because that's our Parliament, and you would go back to Parliament. And say, would hear some members of the minority, they've made the point, they would resist any form of interference in parliamentary business and procedure. Because I'm going to freeze us, I'm going to allow my deal with slide there. The next time, maybe we will court, say MPs, how I am what to cry into court new ruling, court the ruling, Beba. If they don't stop this, a bear Pandora box be a BSWA. A lot more things can come up.
Honorable Asibi, who was then MP for New Jabe, took, I think, a matter to court involving, I think, Gapoa. And the matter he took to court was Article 1815. And whether Parliament had to deal with it or not. It didn't bring the world to an end. It didn't bring the world to an end. Yeah, I mean, are you suggesting that the fact that Parliament has declared some of the acts of the executive the judiciary has declared some of the acts of the executive and constitution has brought the work of the executive to an end? Listen, I've been in Parliament 5 times. We make vigorous arguments in Parliament. STX, for example. Honorable Daja, who was the first deputy speaker, he was presiding. I think the first person who started for the NDC was a finance person. I think it was somebody. Then Honorable Oseakutu. Then our ranking member responded. Then they went to Honorable Babin. Then I responded. Say, Mura. Sorry, Mekasa, Okaba me me uncle Honorable Yileche. I love that guy. Makasa, me my baby. Well, sir, there was a point of order. Hey, Yileche have a point of order that way. The point of order in the Mekasa, we conclude and make an answer story. Then before the years I grew up Parliament, the make an answer survey. Doajawo had a good laugh. I said, let us hear him, because I was concluding with a story between Ntukuma and Anansi. The fact that you must know what is in the pot. We have been through Parliament in this country arguing among ourselves. We don't kill ourselves. We argue, it comes to an end. There has to be an end to everything. So, I mean, I'm appealing there. Yes, we can disagree violently, but as for war, as Mrs. Churchill says, Georgia is always better. Mama kind about that.
Okay. And again, some have said, because of tension what characterized them parliament from the time it was inaugurated to the recent unpleasant scenes are you from Parliament. This ruling might further entrench those positions, no? And then them peace and here they okay, now the Supreme Court has spoken. Into Bibiana Jobrel, the Deputy Speaker while presiding can vote in this E-levy bill, say Bibia bill, depending on his conviction, he can go out there and vote. See, and one shot the man no on battle because some members of Parliament will still resist that thing from happening. So, the peace and the tranquility here and one back.
Well, Chief, no bonfire, but I don't want to answer that question because if I was sitting as a Supreme Court judge, I'll be doing what is right without fear or favor or ill will towards any man. That is what the law is. That's what the judge should do.
Yes.
He does what is right in his sight and in the sight of God without fear or favor or ill will towards any man. But when you start having second considerations, about to my case, forget about the constitutional case. And they are fighting over land. Hey, other one then the famous words of Justice Lamke of the Court of Appeal then once when I was in court also court law until the dam drawing say every dam and a draw one party will win and one party will lose. And we are in a civilized world that we must understand that he who lives and runs away lives to fight another day. I remember when I was sitting as second deputy speaker as your friend then my side then. You may be in government tomorrow. The opposition must have his say. The majority must have his way.
Yes.
Intimate now. I'm not sitting there as say one speaker or another speaker of one side. I'm sitting there once I go into I'm sitting there as
a Speaker of Parliament.
But in about told like this, I'll vote. But it will influence the way I behave towards people. You can't just throw somebody out of Parliament. You can't do that.
I think Onuntina, because I saw a video and current speaker, he remembers what time and I second deputy speaker. You were fair and firm.
That is the point. That was what I was doing. I mean, Chief, the thing that will set you free is the law. The thing that will set you free in this world is to be fair and firm. Be good to all manner of persons. Do what is right without fear or favor or ill will. Why would you don't intervene? I'll say something which may not be too popular with people. When I was Attorney General, one of my brothers, my other brother, he got into some trouble and the police arrested him. And it wasn't a serious matter. But thankfully, the matter was concluded when I was not Attorney General. And he was free. Because he came to see me, I say, brother, I say, you have two choices. Either get a very good lawyer, or because the person is accusing you of a criminal offense, you will konifi 4 a.m. Obupuya and the name, the mura.
Now, cop on the chop.
That's all, because if there's a criminal matter, if there's no complaint, there's no crime.
Yeah.
Okay, in fact, or even cast for some time. And also, okay, man lawyer. And let me say, to give some people lawyers, oh, yeah, Zimmer. Or send a chair lawyer one yaza. And a boy meeting account. So he was annoyed, but after a while he understood what I said. Okay, so I knew there was no merit in the case. If there was merit in the case, it doesn't matter because Echna, Kululu, Kanana, Ezimunia, Nebisununia. So it is about fairness. That is what life is about. It's about fairness, and I am free.
In this Parliament, see, as I walk back. Now, Deputy Speaker, because I think Prof. Kweku Asare made that point. Now, ended down so the Deputy Minority Chief Whip came. That it will now be difficult for them to respect a Deputy Speaker who still has the opportunity to vote because they think he will not be a fair arbiter. In the Okasama, one fine year,
Chief, let me tell you what happens in Parliament. When I was sitting with Honorable Duajao, I was second deputy speaker. I'll preside for a long time, especially I was presiding in the evenings, afternoon evenings. So what to about and I do a job about nego and then market now as so I'm presiding as a deputy speaker. I'm ruling on points of order, I'm ruling people out of order, I'm calling people to speak, and so I'm doing everything that a speaker does. But so what to about honorable Dwaja
Waba.
Waba. And then meet market now.
Na ako to waba.
It didn't change me, and they respected me. You ask any of the people you talk to whether they did respect me as a speaker. They respected me. It's the fact that.
But at the time, the numbers were not this close. This
But
time,
the fact that the person is presiding,
Yes.
does not mean you shouldn't respect the person. Then don't let us make a fetish out of what the speaker does when he's presiding. What does he do? He's also bound by the rules. In fact, the speaker is guided by the leadership. He does not even call the next item. Majority leader, what item? Wabakasa, Ivansa Musa, most of the serious matters in. The leadership give you the names of the people who should speak. In the who speak a crap, you don't call into Musa and call Obi. No. First person to speak, Ghartey. Second person. Also, they mirror themselves. Say, be lawyer Akasa or her. Yama attach Akasa. No, or respond. Economist, no Akasa. It is. And the leadership meet with the speaker before they sit every day. Yeah. Now I agree that on this particular issue, 5 people will speak from this side for 5 minutes each. They may agree on the time, and they say that the leadership will round up, and the leadership will round up for 10 minutes. So it is not so until the speaker now you are able to manipulate things. You are so evil. The speaker has, for me, the speaker's power is even more before Parliament than in the chamber. Speaker no admit motions. Speaker na or admit motion. It's the speaker one admit motion. It doesn't even come to the chamber. Speaker per ruling, per motion. Speaker can be you want to review it, you have to come back the same speaker. That is why Honorable Babin, when he made that his intervention, did not intervene, because he can only intervene when there's a formal motion before the House. And the formal motion will be admitted by Honorable Babin. Maybe nobody had brought a motion, or he didn't think that he wanted to disturb matters at this, and he thought the comment was enough. So please say, hey, Dema, I don't tell you no deputy speaker should sit again, because there will be several instances, close or not close, like a closer. Chief, you have to about Parliament. There are several times there what to about. It's not even a Parliament, Sebi, on your that close. Your members may not be in the chamber. Your members may have traveled. Your members may be ministers. And so, even if you have the majority, there are times it can be close. It can be touch and go. Then no deputy speaker should sit in the chair.
Subscribe to the idea there, the reasoning that the Supreme Court might have come to the decision there. A deputy speaker presiding should have the power to vote because of the principle of representation. Among for Tuabaman, the Ome represent one or Parliament into order to decide on issues affecting the people. Subscribe to them reasoning now.
It's a deputy speaker. Just say also Bekwai.
Yeah, Bekwai.
Now will decide on something relating to Bekwai or which will affect Bekwai.
Yes.
Now Otnegoma Montoaba. You see, because you are not in Parliament representing yourself. You are there representing
people.
And so the speaker does not represent anybody.
The substantive speaker.
Yes, he doesn't have the speaker. Don't let
the speaker.
Don't let's use the word substantive and non-substantive. Let's use the word speaker and deputy speakers. Okay. The speaker does not. That's why they say you don't have an original vote or a casting vote. People have talked about chairman of committees of Parliament. In the standing orders, it gives the chairman a casting vote.
A casting vote.
If the standing orders were the same as the Constitution, then why is it here they say that the speaker shall not have a casting vote? Yes. In the standing orders, people are referring to, the standing order says that the chairman has the powers of a speaker when he's sitting.
Yes.
Then he goes on to say that, but he has a casting vote. Here they say the speaker does not have an original casting vote. Why do you think this is?
It's because the chairman is an MP, a certain MP.
Chief, that's why I've told you that when you came to Accra, you came to do law. But the Takwari people, they don't know. So please, we should not equate things with things that the football referee, judge, a speaker is not a judge, he's not a football referee. A speaker is a speaker, as determined by our constitution and standing orders. The deputy speaker is a deputy speaker, as determined by our constitution and standing orders. Our constitution gives the Supreme Court the power to determine any matter relating to the interpretation of the constitution when we don't understand or we cannot agree as ordinary citizens. There must be an arbiter.
An arbiter.
There must be somebody who can come in. You may disagree with the person, And I've disagreed with Supreme Court decisions before. So I sympathize with the people who disagree. I've disagreed with Supreme Court decisions, even as Attorney General. I disagree with Supreme Court decisions, but I respected it as a lawyer.
Okay.
And there's the power of judicial review. You can go back to court and say the court has made a mistake. And the court itself
can depart from the original.
Thank you.
decision.
There are times that the court depart, but we said this at this time, but now we don't think it is so. The one of the most famous departures, I think, may be found in 1975 Ghana report, Apalu High Court then.
Yeah.
He said something in one case. Very soon the case came up again. He said, I said this in this case, but I think I was wrong. Now I say this. The beauty of a person is to admit when you made a mistake. The person who feels that the Supreme Court has made a mistake can ask for a review.
A review. Wow. Honorable, I think on the Supreme Court, said what can what's now a train detailed ruling, and maybe we can have a detailed conversation around it. But idea back on so a day some common way a buyer was E-levy. You sit in Parliament representing the people of Isikado Keten. Say echo round the one call for Kasa. Do you think there is a groundswell of support in your constituency for E-levy? For which reason you would vote for it in Parliament?
I had the opportunity to go to Sky FM.
Yes.
And to Connect FM.
Yes.
To explain the E-levy. And I talked about the amounts, for example. I hope I'm correct. The 500. The 500.
Yes.
I call it the 10 cities or something.
Yes.
Now, in Isikado me MP, I want to win second Takrady. It was a very small constituency. There's a place called Kansawodo. If you Kansawodo, Echo Mampon.
Yes.
Today, 8 to 1. See, from Kansawodo to Mampon, it's all houses.
Yes. Yeah,
I mean, I do just small wide road. First thing, Impinting was distinct from Injesia, was the thing for Isipun. See, between Impinting, Injesia, and Isipun, Wabe, Wabo. First thing, if you made road, Ekosiisen, 8 to 1, see, all that road, their houses. See, what new as a new by a shame is the new free zone area. Dangote cement, cars, I can see, Wochum, road, where you put a cars in, was said, why a new site? See, the thing about Isikado is every area has a ridge or a new site. We hear as the roads, we hear electricity, we hear. It's mind-boggling. And since you have to second it, say a piazza, Ekosiisen assassin, or then old family houses. Eko Takrady actually $80. I mean, I hear we get a dollar. We chain as we shed here. Gold now, the moon gold pure. I make it $80. Epa, if you're no question, it's also getting full. Make a time. You remember 10 years ago, and Namibia 1 year, then you and Najina as a new site. But peace, so what is happening is that we need development. We have a choice in this country. We can continue the cycle of going outside for money and so on and so forth, or we can decide that we must pay for the development. Now, make us say we the feedback on that. In fact, as in first now, first of all, as some none why who don't put catch all the Wuska 11. Why or a baby that yen be Wuska crowd the wallet ma 11 between what you scan. That was the message in town. Some people was hey 11 if it was 11 said me 200 crowd about to my account to my Utumfa. And then I explained to them, for example, that person-to-person transactions, it doesn't affect it. It's also the mom, it's misket to mommy wallet him, Nemuko Tamale Mikoto, as a Nemuko baby Mikoto to mount to sign as Zaba. Mammy, imagine to E-levy button. So when we explained to them the intricacies of E-levy, with the fact that they agree with me, we must develop the place. Over the past 4 years, roads are here with scared to get turning. It hasn't happened before. In Kansawodo, from Kansawodo to Mampong Road, it's about 5 or 6 kilometers. Since you have after Mampong, you road now to Hantabasa. They been Chrome and Crawford Greek Road. Inside, we find Isipun Road, Isipun McPeace.
Yeah.
This is also called Mpanuwan.
Yeah.
BU, and I know Obukrom Road, Me who can say, no road, Obey CCR, is scheduled to Kojoko first on a footpath, It's when you look at the number of roads that have been done, Wakebi, you will say that the scale of it, I mean, I would know it here. So the country, come on, at long last, our country is free forever. Okay, so the black man is capable of managing his own affairs. If you don't have money, you can't manage your own affairs. So we must start paying tax. That one is a known fact. And secondly, as far as I'm concerned, then I support the E-levy. I think that perhaps we should have started the education much earlier. I'm saying that me go focus on what I say. Me go find out what I say, Papa. Ura, as I'm in there. Ghana now, in terms of pure what we have to deal with. Talk about the question of, let's say, roots. Muasasi, family land. I have family land, a lot of family land. Move to my side of motor. Since I'm a family land, the first thing a farming land on the way to Takrady, on the farming land, on the way to secondary farming land. Since I have a crop, people are rushing to buy it. Mutan family land, family land. Miss Go Mutan, we know Kofusi, and then nice ones they feel. We will see MP do. MP, Why would we allow that? Why do we allow people to sell? It's an important assassin. He makes no contribution to sites and services. Or that you go to Kumoko. You know, there are things that I think that we have to do, and I think government is thinking about doing. It's unfortunate. Like a COVID that was an overflogged horse. Master, me uncle be Cape Coast or African American. I mean, it's in common. Of a rabbi, I'm not catching them. Are you aware there? 2019, 1.5 million visitors came to Ghana. 1.5 million visitors. If I have to spend $100, how much will it be? It's like gone on the way to my house. Maybe I'll find under bridge. No, washing bay. Washing bay. Now that year, AJ Oba under bridge on Ayakumetu. The next year, how many visitors came? The country, the world closed down. Even tourism alone was taking us places. It's a something we see. Me, we can say, when I know him at the beginning of last 2 years, there will be a war between Ukraine and Russia. Even up to the time when Russia will be doing Ukraine, there was no war. And that me and the me be casa. Move with TV, me and people. So Ukraine, or say Ukraine has some of a more of a power. Or say because of that war, the price of fuel is going up. So yes, we are in a situation that we live in a global world, and things that happen elsewhere also affect us. So we have to see how we get money in order to continue developing the country.
There are so many days, but you are still a member of Parliament. It's a card to Obama. We heard the news making rounds. The Enya Oman Penina Ebedi. Do you still have that ambition?
I also heard the news, and I'm going to answer it by asking you to respond to something.
Okay.
God is good.
All the time.
And all the time.
God is good.
Thank you very much. What's it?
Yes.
I was teaching in the law school. I was teaching campaign law in the law school.
Yes.
And one day I entered the class, there was a gentleman sitting at the back, and he gave me a cheek. I asked him a question, he gave me a cheek. And I responded with a cheek. And then he gave me another cheek, then I responded with another cheek. Then especially the lady sitting in front, because they got shocked. Hey, what is happening? Then I said to the guy, we run things. Then he said, things don't run.
Things don't run way.
Because from what he said, I knew the guy was a tidy guy. It's Mama K. Oh, water quality. What I say? Oh, one credit. What I say? But that's
no, Benjamin, me small billboards around that.
The man.
Ghartey for president.
I know. I know. Yankuboni show movie.
That's it.
Absolutely.
That's it.
The mean,
Professor Kwekuasare.
You shouldn't worry at all that I disagree with him. Otherwise, you mean that court sometimes. Chief Justice,
yes.
He sat in a case. He went one way, the other judges went another way. Justice Acha, he sat 31st December. He went one way, the other judges went the other way. We all have
it happens.
It happens.
Medase.
Thank you.
Joe Ghartey, Honourable Member of Parliament for the Sikadoke 10 constituency in the Western Region. Ekosiisen Suni, Ehaya Sempa 94.7.